Hi, it's June and welcome to week 6. We're looking at the southern United States this week, home to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which just happens to be the most visited park in the country. That's where you'll find the Blue Ridge Mountains, which link to the Appalachian Mountains, and that brings us to our craft. The Appalachian region is home to a lot of arts and crafts, including weaving, hand weaving being one of the most prominent ones. And we're going to make an Appalachian hand weaving sampler. That's a couple of ones that I finished ahead of time. I'm going to show you how to do it. You want to go to your packet, of course, and inside that packet, you're going to find some wool. Pull it all out. You'll find a popsicle stick, very important, a needle, and some pony beads. Those are for later for decoration. At home, however, you are going to need a few things. We trust you have them all. That would be a ruler, white glue, some tape, masking or scotch is fine, a pencil, and of course some scissors. But most importantly, we have not provided this. You're going to need to find a piece of cardboard around your house. I'm sure a lot of you have been getting deliveries from Amazon. You can probably find a box that way, or maybe a cereal box in a pinch. You want to get a piece of cardboard and cut it so it's 8 inches tall and 5 inches across. You also want to cut a couple of smaller strips that are 5 inches wide and about ½ an inch thick. All right. Then you are going to take, once you have your piece of cardboard, you are going to take your strips and glue them about ½ an inch from the top and ½ an inch from the bottom. I have one that I've completed here. Once it's glued on, it's going to look something like this. Next, you're going to take your ruler, and you want to then take your pencil and with your ruler measure measure 1 inch from each side. So at the inch mark from one side, make a hash mark. Same at the bottom. Measure 1 inch in and make a hash mark. Go back up to the top, and from that inch inset, go ahead and make 12 hash marks across the top, 1/4 inch apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do the same thing at the bottom. You want them to line up. We are making a loom, cardboard loom. Now the Appalachian hand weavers would use a wooden loom, but we're going to use a cardboard loom. It will work just as well. You will see. So now go back to your packet and you have a bundle of black wool. You want to take that. This is 4 yards. You want to cut it into 12 equal length pieces. That should give you 12 1-foot pieces. I've done that already. Take one of those lengths that you cut and we're going to start threading our loom. You want to leave about a 3-inch tail on the back side, top and bottom. See how they match the bottom notch to the top notch? So you've got 3 inches on either side, and you want to do that all the way across using all 12 pieces of black wool that you cut out. That's how we're creating a loom. These are what you call the warp threads. All right, so it's going to look something like that. I have one finished here. See, I threaded 12 black threads, and then on the back side I left the tails and I taped them so they will hold firm. You've created a loom, and now's the fun part. You're going to want to go to your multicolored bundle of thread that's in the packet. You don't necessarily need the white one. That's for later for hanging. You want to decide what pattern you want to put your wool strands in, what order you want to put them, weave them onto the loom. In my case, I have a pink piece that I'm going to start with. You want to take your plastic needle and thread it. Shouldn't be too hard. Even this chunky wool will be easy to thread. Now for the weaving part. This is the fun part. You want to start, it doesn't matter, we'll go with under. So you're going under the first thread, over the second thread, under the third, over the fourth, and so on, all the way across to the other side. Under, over, under, over, under, over. And then you're going to pull your needle through. Be very careful to leave about a 3-inch tail at this end. Now you're going to go back the other way. So in this case, we're going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and over. And I'm going to pull it all the way through. Now you have to reverse the weaving, the direction under, over, or if you don't, of course, it'll all just pull out. And you'll learn that from experience. We'll do one more row this way. So I'm starting under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and pulling through. Here's a little tip though. As you are weaving, you want to be sure to maybe tuck up your threads with your fingers or the needle if you like. Also, not to pull too tightly on the sides, or else it'll start to cinch up, and you don't want that. You're going to continue to finish with that first strand of wool, and then you can start on a second strand. That's what I've done here. I finished the chunky wool I was using, and if you notice, I left a strand, a 3-inch strand at the start, a 3-inch strand at the bottom when I finished, because you don't want it to unravel. And then I'm going to start a second color. I'm going to go to my bundle of wool and start a second color. Same idea, under, over, and you're going to continue in this manner with the 4 colors of thread of wool that we provided you, in whatever order you decide, whatever design you want to create. Okay, all the way to the bottom. You should end with something that looks like this. I've got my tails; they just happen to all end up on the same side. But we're not going to leave it like this, of course. We're going to take it off the loom. So then we're going to go to the back side. I'll show you how to do that. You want to remove that masking tape that's held those warp threads in place. Then you are going to remove them from the loom. You can probably do it all at once or one at a time. It should come off pretty easy. Okay, so there they are. They are off the loom. Of course, we don't want to leave all these threads hanging there. First thing you want to do though is secure the top and bottom, and this is how you do it. Take those black threads at the black wool at the top. There should be obviously 12 of them. You want to tie them together. So tie 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and 11 and 12, so forth. And you want to double knot them. I'm not going to do it all the way across, but I'll do the first 2. So I've done 1 and 2, 3 and 4, double knot them because that will secure your finished weaving. Do that all the way across. And the ones on the side. Now, if you're really crafty, you can take your needle and weave them through the back side, but for our purposes, we're going to use tape. Quick little way to finish it off. Let's focus on the bottom pieces, or excuse me, the side pieces. So there they are. Let's tuck them kind of tidily into the weaving, the back side of the weaving. Trim them if necessary. Take your tape, and we'll tape them to the back side. It's kind of a little cheating way to do it. Quick way to finish, because you're going to only see the front side. So there you go. See, I've hidden them. You can do the same thing with the top and well, not the bottom, but the top. After you finish tying the knots all across, you can tuck them down and also tape them so and you could trim them as well if you wanted. You didn't want them to be that long. And hold them in place with some tape. As you can see, this one I taped it. This one I actually wove the pieces in. So there's 2 ways of doing it. If you're really crafty, take your needle and weave the hanging threads into the back side, or simply tape them with masking tape or Scotch tape. But let's go back to the finishing ours off. Now I haven't taken the time to tie them at the bottom, but you will, of course. Then you can make a hanger for it if you like, using the white thread that we gave you. The first thing you want to do is cut about a foot length. About a foot should do it. And go back to your needle, and you can take your popsicle stick that we provided you. Let's thread that needle. And basically you're going to sew the popsicle stick to the top of your weaving. You could use a popsicle stick if you want. You can use a twig. I went out in my backyard and found a twig. Makes it look a little more rustic. And I'm just basically sewing the the weaving to the popsicle stick. That's one way to finish it. Go all the way across like that, as I have done here with my sewing it to the top. And then I simply fashioned a hanger with the remaining wool. I decorated put some pony beads on it. At the bottom, I kind of did the same thing. In one example, I actually put some beads on it. In the other, I just left them plain. However you want to do it, as decorative or as plain as you like it, with a stick, with a popsicle stick, with beads, without. But once you're done, you'll have created your own hand weaving sample, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do more of this weaving. It's really fun. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.